connection.
You know, me and my dad, we weren't the closest, but we weren't not close. My dad, at the end of the day, I'm going to love my dad for simply being my dad. Now, my dad's life, you know, had several different versions of drastic downs, right? A small amount of ups, but a lot of downs. I can easily sit here and ridicule or judge my dad for the mistakes that he made or for his past, but that does nothing. I don't I don't like to focus on problem. I focus on solution.
Yes.
So with me and my dad in our relationship, it was always one of solution. Like you can't go back and fix the years that you weren't present. There is nothing that we can do about that time. We can have a conversation about it. We can talk about it. And then me and my dad talking, my biggest thing was you don't have to focus on what you can't change. The fact that you're here now and that you made a decision to get clean, to turn your life around. It's never too late. My dad was, 50 plus at the time when he said, I'm gonna go ahead and figure it out. And I'm gonna close that door and I'm gonna work on this other door. This door over here was, like I said, jail, drugs, in and out of his kid's life, to the point where, there was a time when we didn't know where my dad was. And I bumped into my dad on a train. I tell a story. I bumped into my dad on a public transportation in Philadelphia. Like not seeing him in years, I randomly saw my dad. And my dad was so embarrassed, he got off the train and ran. But it's like, that's where that world and that relationship was. And what I do very well, I don't hold on to grudges or gripes. It takes too much time. It takes too much energy. Things will work themselves out. They never not have. It'll always work itself out. I mean, my dad worked it out, right? Like, it's about the grandkids. And our relationship got better as he embraced the opportunity to be a great grandpa. And seeing him try to do that right was his way of saying, I wish I could have done this right for you. I can't. Like, I know what you're saying without saying it. Sometimes you don't need words. Although some people do need them, sometimes your actions are a little better. And my dad's actions, in trying his best to be an unbelievable grandfather, made our father-son relationship that much better. And, there was a lot of conflict between my brother and my dad, and seeing that mend over the time. And just saying, look, I'm not supposed to be here. Dad, look at what your son has done. Look at where I am. Being that I can, I want to make sure that you get to see some dope things in life. Here, let's do this and take that and live like this and do. So things work themselves out. His reward for giving his energy to something positive and life-changing was his son becoming successful and his son saying, Dad, it's not expected. That wasn't the plan. You got a great piece of light at the end of that dark tunnel that you didn't expect, that I didn't expect, because I didn't expect to be here. So everything it works itself out.
Yeah.
And, and losing my dad is when you look back and you go, yo, he was all right, right? Like my reflection, my conversation, my words when I speak on behalf of my father, they're so positive and dope because he did good. I'm all right.
Mm-hmm.
I came out okay. Mom, Dad, you did good. Like whatever you did to put whatever recipe in this pot, the food came out all right. I'm a good person. I got a good heart. I treat people with respect. Ultimately, I want the most that I can possibly get out of life. I love to love. I'm a good dude. Am I perfect? No. I got some of them imperfections over there. I got some of the ones from over here, from Mom and Dad. Okay. That's life.
Of course.
I'm going to figure it out, but I figure it out without the want or need for problem.
That's real, man. I mean, listening to you say that, what I appreciate so much is about how you're changing our perspective again, that often we feel to heal, what was broken needs to be fixed. And actually what you've just said is seeing him try with the grandkids, that's not even the area that needed fixing or was broken, but seeing that starts to create some healing.
That's the best example that I can ask for.
Yeah.
Because it's not about us, right? Like me and my ex-wife got to a point of realization, after having a significant amount of ups and downs, after our divorce, we got to a point where you realize it's not about us. Like we did it. We had our opportunity and we're now adults. How we choose to live as adults, well, that's a choice that we make, but we're trying to make the best choices so that they have a better life. So it's about them. When I see somebody making the efforts to make life for them better, well, then we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm. We have the same vision.
We got the same vision.
Yeah.
It's not about us at this point. It's not about us as a generation at this point. It's about us trying our best to do things, to create change, to move ground, shift the gear so that they have a much better opportunity than what we did.
Yeah.
That's the world of the baton being passed correctly. And if you understand that and you have that mindset, you approach your day-to-day differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have that mindset. And it's one thing that I'm very thankful for. And through the things that should be problems or were supposed to be problems, I've never held on to them long enough. And by the way, just bringing it back full circle, that's a monster. That grudge monster, that's a monster.
Mm.
I'm going to get you back. Wait, you just watch. I'm going to hold on to that and I'm going to prove to you or I'm going to show you or I'm not talking to nobody over here. That's a monster. So you can fuel that monster or that monster doesn't have to have an existence in me.
It's really, really interesting hearing that perspective again because, one of my favorite lessons that I've learned is that often the thing that's holding you back is something you're holding on to.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite lessons. The idea that something that's holding you back is you're holding on to it. So whether it's a grudge, like you're saying, the grudge monster, or a feeling or an emotion or an idea that you're not allowing it to let go when it no longer serves you. And being able to walk away from that requires real strength and